everybody. Well, I told you guys that I would probably do another video just because, oh man, I hate when that happens. When your purse spills, all your stuff spills out of your purse. Flim flam. Oh well. I'll pick it up when I reach my destination. So, remember I was telling you last night I actually made a video for the third day, but it was in the evening and I was on my way to my friend's house, and because it was dark outside, you couldn't see me at all. So I had to make another one. I had to do another video. Anyway, so I'm on my way to work and to handle my business. I feel like I have errands to run every day. Oh, man, if this is any indication of what it's going to be like when I actually retire in the spring, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm going to be busier. You know? I feel like I'm going to be busier, guys. Oh well. Well, as long as it's doing something I love, then it won't matter. Right? They say when you're doing something you love, you don't work a day in your life. So, I still think you work when you do things you love. I personally think you still work when you do things you love. You have to give it that effort, but I understand the concept. I know what they mean. You know, when you're doing something that you love, you really don't mind the work. Or, you know, to some it doesn't feel like work. So I get that. But anyway, this morning I was talking about being grateful for having a mind to plan and focus. I also talked about looking back on 2018 and looking at what worked and what didn't work and adjusting some things in your planning as you get ready for 2019 and beyond. There is a lot of talk about the future and what that looks like, you know, and for each person, it's different. And we all have to be honest about where we are right now and where we would like to be. We have to set goals, realistic goals, but goals in faith as well. And the goals that we set, they have to be tied to the purpose that we have in the earth. It's much easier to do things, or I should say want to do things that are tied to your purpose. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, because a lot of times when you are walking in purpose and you are doing what you were put here on the earth to do, you will have opposition. I think it would be erroneous and irresponsible to say that once you know your purpose, once you understand your calling and you start walking in that direction and you have goals set for that, then everything is just going to be great and you're just going to float by on flowery beds of ease. No, not going to happen. Not like that. It never happens like that. You actually end up with more opposition because not everyone wants to see you succeed. And I told you guys the other day, yes, I'm a Christian, so I have a Christian worldview. And I think that our actual enemy is usually not people. You know, we disagree with people. We're not always on the same plane as another person, you know, so we don't always agree. But your actual enemy is the enemy, the evil one himself. He is the one that you have to, you know, be mindful of, because he will indeed try to influence you and try to influence others, to always be in conflict, to always think about what we don't like about another person, or Some people are influenced to the point where they espouse and they live by hate. And that's something that we don't do. But what I want you to really understand is a lot of times people are really not your enemy, especially in close circles. I'm not talking about necessarily in general. I mean, look around at the people that you live with, that you work with, that you work for, whatever organizations you are a part of, wherever you find conflict. Look at that. Take a good look at that and take an honest look at that. And really, ask yourself, the last person I was in conflict, is that somebody that really hates me? They really can't stand me and they want to see me do badly? Now that could be the case, but for many of us, we're in conflict with people that we know every day. Our family, our friends, where we work, like I said, the organizations that we belong to, even the churches we attend. There's bound to be conflict everywhere. And don't confuse conflict with hatred, or someone bringing to your attention something that you're doing that's actually wrong, or they're bringing something to your attention that you could do better. So even if it's someone who doesn't care for you, or what you think of as your enemy, your hater, your nemesis, there are a lot of times that we can learn things from those who maybe point out some of the things that aren't so great about us. People who don't like you are probably more focused on your character flaws and things that are wrong with you than the things that are right. Because, people that love you and care for you, it's not that now if they really love you and care for you, they will be willing to tell you when you're wrong or out of order. However, a lot of times the people that we love and care about, we tend to look over their flaws, their faults. Sometimes, their character flaws will cover them. And even when we discuss it with them and let them know, hey, you got to do some things better, we do it in love. Whereas a person who doesn't like you, they're quick to point out what's wrong with you, your character flaws, what you have going on that's not so perfect. But even in that, listen, I'm grateful for that. My immediate reaction sometimes is not the best, but as I mature and I've learned over the years that a lot of times people who don't like you and your haters, because they're concentrating on your flaws, they can point out things that are actually legitimate. They're true. And I've learned to be grateful, because when it's brought to my attention, now it's on my radar and I can change it. So, hey, you can even think about 2 or 3 people that you call an enemy and hater. I don't know, even a lot of people have frenemies nowadays. Whatever they're called, or whomever they may be, they may be pointing out something that's not so great with you. That's okay. Don't react. Just respond. Okay, thanks. Keep it moving. And then think about it. Now, I'm not saying dwell on it so that it can become a part of your spirit, but what you want to do is, if it's something, we're usually pretty self-aware people, and you can tell if someone's telling you something that's true about you. You may not always like the packaging, how it comes, but really look at it as a gift. It's being brought to your attention. Now you can correct it. This happened to me several times, and I promise you, I tend to be more salty when people don't come to me. I had something that I was struggling badly with, a few years ago. I had a medical condition, and it caused a lot of problems for me. And while I was going through that, no one really addressed the side effects. No one addressed the side effects of the medical condition that I had, the problem that I had. Nobody addressed it. They talked about me constantly, but nobody addressed it. I was just waiting for somebody to say, hey, what's going on with you? Here's what I see or what I'm noticing. What's going on with that? It never did. All it did was laugh and, talk about it behind my back. So initially it made me bitter. It also made me reevaluate my friends and the people that I had in my life, the people that I was acquainted with at the time. Now it grew me up because I had to be honest and really figure out what I needed to do about it. But I must say that God was faithful. He helped me to overcome. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. But anyway, you don't need to know. If you could just think about things in your own life, that sometimes we have things in our life that we really don't like either. And it's hard to talk about it with other people, especially if you know that they don't mean you any good. So, I would say that's why having good relationships, having genuine friends is important. But at the same time, like I said earlier, it's okay. Sometimes there are going to be people around you that don't like you. They're going to be focused on the things that are wrong, or character flaws that you may have, or in some way that you misstepped or you failed. They'll be quick to celebrate that. But I want to tell you, beloved, just hold on. Because if you take those things to God, I'm not saying necessarily take the person to God, like, not do something bad to this person because they hurt me, they embarrassed me, they used a flaw that I had to try to make themselves look better. No, don't do any of that. Go to God with the actual character flaw. Go to God with the thing that needs to be fixed. And while you're down on your knees, pray for your enemy. Lord, they meant it for evil, but I'm asking you to bless them anyway. Because had they not brought this to my attention, I would not have had the courage to confront it. So, that's really all I want to say right now. Guys, again, I'm Deanna Ferguson. My YouTube handle is Miss Merritt. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And let's take a journey together, right? Let's continue talking about what we're grateful for and how we are going to prepare for the future. All right, you guys be blessed, and I will talk to you later.